Hey, I know that some of you watching this are in a season of life where you are wanting to date, but yet maybe you might be having some thoughts or questions or concerns about dating because you're a believer. Should I even date as a Christian? That could be one question that you're asking yourself, but there could be more. I just want to give you some real, hopefully simple thoughts that can help you for this season that you're in right now, because it's an important season for you. So let's start right here. First of all, if you're going to date and you desire to date, here's something for you to think about. The first and number one thing that I can think of from the Bible that's important for you to know is this: that if you're going to date someone who is equally yoked with you. Now, equally yoked isn't a term or a phrase that we use in our vernacular today, but it just simply basically means this: if you're a believer and a Christian, date somebody who's also a believer and a Christian, and ideally who's also walking towards God like you are. If you are at church regularly and often, you read your Bible, you pray, and then you date someone who, though a believer, is not operating in some of those things that you are operating in so they can get closer to the Lord, then there may be an inequality, though your faith is the same. And so, does a person have to be perfectly like you? I mean, read as long as you do, pray as long as you do, worship as much as you do? I don't want to say that. I think everybody is different. Their relationship with God is different. But as long as they're in pursuit, as long as they want Jesus, as long as they want God, and you can see that they are taking steps before they start dating you in a relationship. So I think that's really, really important. That's really, really key. Another thing that can help you in a dating relationship is once you begin to date, please just take your time. What happens is when we start to date someone, you get excited. I mean, who doesn't? You have somebody who you like, you have somebody who potentially likes you as well. And there is a joy, there is an excitement there, because especially if you want this to turn into marriage one day, then this has to happen before that can happen. So there is an excitement, understood, 100%. However, in my years of pastoral ministry and just talking to a lot of people who maybe are in the same season that you are in, and then having been in that season at some point myself, I realized that something can be very helpful when you date and you take your time. I always like to tell people who are dating 3 words. You want to hear those words? Here they are: slow, slower, and stop. Slow, slower, and stop. Why are those words important? Because again, naturally, we want to go fast because we're excited. Sometimes, I'm going to just keep it real with you if I can. In some of your heads, you're thinking, the clock is ticking, I need to get moving. And that thought right there can make you go faster and not develop the relationship like it could be and should be developed. So I just want to tell you, take your time. God's got you. Trust God, and God will help you and bring the right person, but also help you in the course of the development of the relationship. Here's another little point that can help you. Don't seek to be anything more than a friend in the beginning. Just try to be friends. Because any relationship that will develop will come out of first a friendship. And just like you have a girlfriend if you're a lady, or a guy friend if you're a guy, just be a friend. Spend some time hanging out and get to know the other person. Ask them questions, let them know some things about you, and you don't have to let everything out all in one time, but just over time, let that knowledge increase and let it grow so you can get to know the person and pace yourself in it. You don't have to go fast. This is not a sprint, this is a marathon. If it does turn into something more than just dating and friend, if it turns into something more than just dating, turns into marriage. So the next piece of advice that I can give you as it pertains to dating is have some boundaries. Have some boundaries. Let me give you an example. When I was dating my wife, Angel, we had a curfew boundary. In other words, we weren't going to stay out all night by ourselves alone because, after a while, there's only so much you can do. And so, so when it was reasonable, I would just take her home and then that was it. Have some boundaries in terms of alone time and things that occur when you are alone. Angel, my wife, she had a roommate. They lived in like a condo. And, I couldn't be over there when her roommate wasn't there, particularly late at night. If I dropped by in the day and I could say hello, that was one thing. But there's another thing as the hours drew on and it got darker and later. And, if we were to ever get too comfortable, that wouldn't be perhaps the best thing for us. So I'm just giving you a couple examples so you can understand what boundaries are. Here's another simple boundary. What if you're dating someone and let's just say you're dating a great guy, and this guy has other friends who are female, and you don't feel so comfortable about his communication with these females? Well, that'd be a conversation that you would need to have, but that would be something mutually that hopefully you would agree upon as a dating couple in terms of what are our boundaries going to be and what are they going to look like. And so that's just a simple piece of advice that can be helpful for you in a dating relationship. I hope that these simple thoughts are helpful to you. And if you have any other questions at all, please feel free to reach out to one of us here at the church, one of your pastors, one of your leaders, one of your small group leaders, and ask whatever question you might, because we love you and we want you to do well in life.